Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 5th January today, and in this video we are going to solve different types of questions. You know, as it is Sunday today, usually we don't have that much information in the newspapers which is relevant to our preparation. So we had brought up few articles from where we had taken few questions here that we will discuss. Now, before we will start solving these questions, or we will start solving these questions, or we will start going for the news analysis here, I would like to give you the brief introduction about the video so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with it. And if you are our regular visitors of our channel, then I would recommend you guys to fast forward few minutes so that you will directly jump to the discussion part if you are not watching it live. Now, every day we try to upload this video on our YouTube channel and we try to discuss various types of questions in here which are very much relevant for your preparation from different sources. And if we will try to break these questions into different parts, it would definitely come under three different parts. In the first part of our discussion, we take up questions directly from the current affairs. You know why? What we do? Most of our questions are from the current affairs. Basically, what we do, we take up the most important articles from the newspapers, we break them down into the simplest language possible. We try to find out the possible questions which we can frame from those particular articles so that it will help you prepare for your prelims preparation for your prelims exam. We try to give you the idea how the questions can be framed from these particular articles. We try to give you the idea which part of the newspaper is important for your preparation, how you should approach your current affairs studies, how you should clear your current affairs. This is what we are going to do in the first part of our discussion. After we will solve questions with respect to current affairs and give the news analysis, we will shift our approach to the another part of our discussion where we will solve questions directly from the static topics. As you know, if you had followed me, you would definitely know that we are discussing the static topics also here, and we had started with Indian polity. Right now, we are discussing the fundamental duties. We are discussing the every article in the fundamental duty. As it is under 51A, there are different clauses in that, and we are discussing it clause by clause. So today we are going to discuss clause F of the fundamental duties. We'll try to find out what is given in there, and we'll try to find out how UPSC can frame a single question from that single clause. So this is what we are going to discuss in the second part of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we will shift our approach to the law, where we will take a few previous year questions which were asked in our previous exams. We will try to find out the vocabulary used by UPSC examiner. We will try to find out how they are trying to deceive the aspirants, how they are trying to deceive the exam, the students, and we will try to find out the way they are, repeating the questions in different vocabularies. We will try to find out all those things in this part, and also we'll try to find out, for example, if we don't have the proper knowledge, what can be the methods which we can use at the end to solve those questions. We'll try to find out those techniques, and also we'll try to find out how we can implement this knowledge in the upcoming exam. So this is in a nutshell what we are going to do in this video. Again, I would tell you one thing, that as it is Sunday newspaper today, as it is Sunday today, there were not much articles which were relevant to our preparation. If there were many, we had already covered them in very much detail. So we had been left with only few articles which we are going to discuss today. Now, before we will start solving questions, I would like to request you guys one thing, which I am requesting you from last 6 months. And if you had followed that request, it would definitely help you in million ways. What is that request? If I was at your place, what I will do, I would start noting down these questions every day. I will develop my own question bank. And when the exams are near, I am talking mostly about the month of May. When it is the month of May and exams are near, I would want to repeat everything. I would want to revise everything. I would want to go through the static part. I would want to go through the current affairs. I have to go through the CSAT, and I would want to go through the previous year questions, as it is very much important for you to clear the exam. But at that time does not permit you to to do so. And it is the human desire that we want to go for the last mile revisions, but time does not permit us and we feel low in confidence. So what will you do at that time? If you have these questions with you, if you have developed your own question bank from these questions, what you will do, you would just go through these questions. These questions will give the idea what we had discussed with respect to current affairs. These questions would connect you with the current affairs. These questions would definitely connect you with the static topics, and they will also give the analysis of the previous year questions, and definitely it is going to boost your confidence for entering the exam hall. And also maybe as it is the same source what the UPSC is using for framing your papers, maybe many questions can coincide for, and if not the questions but concepts would definitely be the same. So with this, I would like to request you guys, please do note down these questions. And also, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel, share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And please do write in the comments, what do you feel about the video? What else should we bring for you guys? Now with this, let's have a look at the first question here and try to solve that. Here the question is with respect to the Indian State of the Forest Report 2023. It basically talk why we had brought this question. You know, if you would had followed me from last 1 month, we already discussed one separate class for Indian Forest Report, Indian State of Forest Report. We discussed it, we gave 20 minutes to this topic. We discussed it in that what is forest cover, we discussed it in that what is tree cover, how we understand this is the forest cover, what is the criteria for the forest cover. We solved a question on that particular thing. So today there was another article which was associated with it, which basically talked about, is India's forest cover really growing? Is India's forest cover really growing enough? So what we can do here, we first of all we can compare this report, which was, you know, it is given after every 2 years. It is actually the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change which frames this. To be more precise, it is the forest, it is basically forest survey which gives us this report. Forest Survey of India which gives us this report, which works under the Ministry of Forest, Environment and which works under the Ministry of Forest, Environment and Climate Change. So about this report, to understand that is India's forests really growing, we have to compare it with the 2021 report. If we will see in 2021 report, the forest cover of India, if we will compare it under the percentage, the forest cover of India was something around 24%. So it was something around 24% in 2021, and in 2023 it has increased to 25.14%. So definitely if we look at the percentage wise, the forest cover has increased. But the author in this article, he has raised few questions. He has raised questions with the technicalities used. He has raised the questions with the definition of the forest used by the Indian Forest Survey here. That the definition, for example, they, according to the author, he says that the definition has also included the orchards which are grown by the farmers. For example, in Jammu and Kashmir, they have apple orchards there. It says that the author says that those orchards, they are totally for the commercial purpose of the people living there. They had also been involved, included in the forest cover. So it is very much understood that if we will include all those things in the forest cover, if we will include the tea plantation in the forest cover, it will definitely show that the forest cover is increasing. But in reality, is it really increasing? The question is to be discussed. So then it gives us the data. It gives us data with respect to various states. It gives us the data with respect to the mangrove forests, whether they are increasing or decreasing, and it is clearly showing that the mangrove forests are also decreasing. They are decreasing, and this article gives us the various reasons why these forest cover in reality are decreasing. So about the data with respect to the states, for example, we have the states with largest forest cover. We have states with largest forest cover with respect to area. So in this category, under 2023 report, in this category, MP is the state which has the largest forest cover when it comes to area. Then Arunachal Pradesh, and then Chhattisgarh. These are the states which have the largest forest cover when it comes area wise. And when it comes when it comes percentage wise, it is Lakshadweep which has the highest forest cover, then it is Mizoram, then it is Andaman and Nicobar when it comes percentage wise. Similarly, it talks about the tree cover, how it is increasing in how, what are the states which have the highest tree cover, what are the area wise, what are the states which have highest tree cover percentage wise. It talks about that also. And it basically talks about what are the states in which the forest cover is increasing, what are the states in which forest cover is decreasing. For example, the states in which forest cover is decreasing, it is MP, the forest cover is decreasing there. Then it is Karnataka, then it is Ladakh, which is a UT, and then it is Nagaland. These are the states and UTs in which forest cover is decreasing. What are the states and UTs in which forest cover is increasing? It talks about that also. It is Chhattisgarh, in which the forest cover is increasing. It is UP, the forest cover is increasing, and it is Odisha and Rajasthan. So it gives us the data with respect to in various dimensions which can be important for your prelims preparation. Similarly, it shows us that even though on the ground in the report it shows that the forest cover has increased, but is it really so? So he finds few things in it that are very worrisome. For example, the definition used, which we already discussed, and also it shows that this report also shows that the in about Western Ghats, which were in 2014, which were given the states of eco-sensitive area tags, which were given the tag of eco-sensitive. In that particular area, the forest cover has been found decreasing. Also in Nilgiris, the forest cover has been found decreasing. Similarly, mangrove forests, they are decreasing. So it find, and also in the northeast the forest covers are decreasing. So what are the reasons why these forest covers are decreasing in these particular areas? What are those reasons? The reasons are: first, urbanization, forest fires, or global warming based elements, they are the reason. The urbanization, land use patterns are the reason, and the policies associated with the government, how they implement those policies, they are the reasons. For example, we recently discussed about the Kane Betwa river linking, in which most of the trees would be cut down. So these are the reasons why this forest cover in these particular areas are decreasing. And also, why, what is the dilemma here with respect to the increase of the forest cover? As per the report, this report has included the definition given to the forest. It is worrisome because it has included the orchards, it has included the tree plantation as the forest. So these are the issues associated with it. So this is in nutshell why we had discussed this topic, the important things which were in it. We try to bring everything which is relevant for your preparation, and with this we'll try to solve this question and get more idea about it. Here the question says, with reference to the Indian State of Forest report, you know 2023, which of the following states recorded the highest increase of the forest cover? As we discussed it, it is Chhattisgarh. It is the state which has recorded the highest increase of the forest cover. Then it is after that followed by UP, followed by Odisha and Rajasthan. These are the states which had shown the highest increase of the forest cover. So with this, we complete this discussion with respect to the Indian State of Forest report. In our recent class, we discussed that what is when we can say the how we can discuss about forest cover and tree cover. We discussed about the concept of canopy density when seen from the satellites. For example, if the land is more than 1 hectare and the tree density is more than 10%, then we can call it open forest. If it is more than 40%, we can call it dense forest, and if it is above 70%, then we can call it very dense forest. And we had discussed that in our earlier class in a very detailed manner. So by solving this question, the idea was to give the current affairs related to it, the questions which can be asked with respect to it. We discussed various data in it. I hope you had understood that. We discussed what is the concern with respect to this report, as it has the wrong definition, we can say. The definition which it is using for the forest, that raises the concern. So with this, I hope you had understood everything in it. With this, let's move to the another topic and try to solve that. Here the question is about the annual status of education report, which is ASR report. Why we had brought this question? The reason for that is there is a discussion. We had discussed that topic in our previous classes also, but we had a discussion about why the article talked about the news article talked about why was no detention, no detention. Why was no detention policy rolled back? There was a discussion over it, why the government has decided to roll this no detention policy. So with this, to understand that, we have to understand various surveys done by this report, which is actually, it is framed, it is given by the Pratham NGO. So to understand this, why this has been, this no detention policy has rolled back, we have to understand why it was first introduced. It was introduced in the Right to Education Act of 2009. This no detention policy, it was introduced in Right to Education, Right to Education Act of 2009. It was introduced in Right to Education Act of 2009. So that, what are the points in it? What does it mean? That any student from 1st to 8th, he cannot be detained. I mean, what do I mean? That if any student, he is studying in class 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or any student from 1st to 8th, he cannot be detained if he fails the exam. So they have to qualify him for the next class. So why they had brought this? What is the reason for that no detention for these students? The reason for this was that, there are basically various reasons for that. Various reasons why they had brought this policy. First of all, if we will try to understand that, what is the major reason for that? To reduce the uneven pressure of the single exam. Usually, according to them, one single exam at the end of the year cannot decide whether the student has understood things properly or not. It If the student has qualified for 1 year, if he has studied for 1 year, he should be promoted. So this last unnecessary pressure which the students go through when they have to go for the final exams, this puts a lot of pressure, and it cannot decide whether the student has studied or not. So this is the one reason to reduce the pressure on the students. Second, to ensure, second was, to ensure that learning can be done without any pressure, as we discussed. And also, the main purpose of the government was to increase the literacy rate of the students, so that once the student is eighth pass, we can say, when once the students are eighth pass, he would be considered literate. So to increase this literacy rate, they had brought this no detention policy, that students cannot be detained, especially in the classes 5th and 8th. Between the 1st and 8th, the students cannot be detained. So this was the major reason why they had brought this policy here. Now here the issue was, now how can we not detain any student if he fails? Here the concept was of the continuous and comprehensive and continuous examination, that there should be comprehensive and continuous examination after every 1 month or after weeks. It would be decided by the schools. They will continuously conduct these examination, and they will analyze the students' abilities, and by this they will promote the students. But what it led to, this framework, this rule was highly misused by the schools itself. It was highly misused by the teachers. This led to one of the major issue. This no detention policy, it translated into no testing. There were no testing, no comprehensive testing. There was no evaluation, and similar, and which translated into there was no teaching, as there was no pressure for the students to pass the exam. So teachers bothered not to teach them. And what it led to the education gap in our education system. There was huge education gap in our education system. So to qualify this statement, whether there was really this education gap, and this, to qualify this statement, here comes the importance of the annual status of education report, that is ASR report, as it is given by the Pratham NGO. They conducted this report, and they had found out, this ASR report, it has found out that 42% students of class 5th, 42% of students of the class 5th could not could only 42% of students of the class 5th can read the second class books. And also it found out that 26.6% of the class 5th could only do basic mathematics. That only 26.6%, only 26 percent of the students of class 5th could do basic mathematics. So there was huge gap. You can see that there is almost 58% here. Almost 58% of the students were not able to even read the class second books. So this, you can see the educational gap here. They were studying in the 5th class and they were not able to read the class second books. And here we can see that 74% of the students, almost 74% of the students were not able to do the basic mathematical problems. So these are the issues which which were rising because of this no detention policies. And it is highlighted by this ASR report, which is published by the Pratham NGO. And because of these issues, the education gap which it has created, the government was forced to roll back this no detention policy, which they had rolled in 2000, which they rolled it in Right to Education Act of 2009. So this is I believe this much is enough information related to this question which we are about to discuss here. I believe that you had got the context behind this question. Now let's try to solve it and get more idea about this ASR report, Annual Status of Education report. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the annual status of education report. First statement: ASR is a household-based survey that provides estimates of children's schooling status and basic learning levels in rural India. 100% correct, nothing wrong with this statement. Second statement: ASR is conducted by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. Totally incorrect. It is conducted by the private NGO, which is Pratham NGO. Pratham NGO. So the second statement is totally incorrect. Third statement: ASR surveys children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Totally incorrect. Earlier it used to survey children in the age group of this only, but it has increased its scope. It has increased its scope from youth are also included in it. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is only statement 1. So with this, I hope you had understood the basics of annual status of education report. You had understood it. You had understood about why we had discussed this. You had understood why no detention policy was introduced. What were the main reasons for the introduction of no detention policy in the Right to Education Act of 2009. And you had understood it now why it has been rolled out, because of the education gap which has been created here. So with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve. Here the question is, with respect to which of the following statements regarding child wasting and stunning are correct. Here, why we had brought this question, because there was an article which talked about why public health nutrition policies need precise targeting. Basically this child wasting, child stunning, underweight, this is major issue in different countries and also in India. Even though we are doing well on stunting and wasting, but still these issues are in our country. These issues are related to malnutrition. They are related to the nutritional levels which the children get in the age group of 1 to 2, in the age group above 5. So that's why it becomes important for us to understand what this wasting is, what this stunting is. So by this question we will understand that. Here the first statement with respect to wasting says, wasting is a measure of chronic malnutrition reflecting a child's weight for their age. It is not weight for their age. It should have, if it was child's weight for their age, then it would have been underweight. No, it is not this. It is totally incorrect. It is a child's height. It is not child's height for the age. It is child's weight. Basically it is child's weight for their age, for their height, not age, also for their height. So first statement is incorrect. What is wasting? It is the child, it reflects child's weight for their height. Wasting reflects child's weight for their height. Second statement: stunning is a measure of acute malnutrition reflecting child's weight for their height. Also incrementing reflects child's height for their age. Child's height, it reflects height for their age, not child's weight for their height. So this is also incorrect. Third statement, both wasting and stunning are irreversible after the age of 5, even though it is difficult but not irreversible. So this is also incorrect. Third statement is also incorrect. Fourth statement, wasting indicates recent and severe weight loss, often due to inadequate food intakes or illness. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement 4. So why we had brought this question here? Because there was the article which talked about why public health nutrition policies need precise targeting. Usually what we do, for example, there is any patient, any child which is suffering for anemia. What doctors would suggest him, what we will do, what our policies would suggest, that let's give him iron. But according to the author, that is very much unidimensional approach. We should not have this unidimensional approach. We have to find out the cause of that. We have to give him the proper nutrition. We don't have to only focus on this iron intake only. We have to focus on different intakes which can lead to different issues if he is not taking it properly. So we have to go for the multidimensional approach, which is needed. And also usually, what we do, we wait for the stimulus. Once we find out that the child is going through some issue, once we find out the child is going through this issue at the age of 5, we will find out that our child has been is suffering from stunting or wasting. Then we will start solving the issue. Then we will try to give him the proper diet. So what we do, we are we are waiting for the stimulus, that idea, that habit should be changed, that we should start developing child's nutrition from the birth itself. How we should consult the nutritionist. They would tell us what to give them. So we have to take a very much primitive measures here. We have to take it pre-disaster measures. We don't have to wait for the 5 years. Once we will feel that he has stunned, then we will start giving the proper diet. So we have to take it very proactive measures here with respect to that. And also we have to quality of the calories which we are giving to the children. We should not blindly give them the calories where from we are getting. We have to understand the quality of the calories, the sources of the calories. We have to understand that, then give them. So these are few recommendations which were given by the author here, how we can target this issue, as this article itself talked about the precise targeting. So with this, I hope you had understood the wasting, as it is the chronic malnutrition which deals with, it is the malnutrition which deals with a child's weight with respect to his height. Then if the child is underweight with respect to his height, then he is suffering from wasting. Stunting, if the child's height is low height with respect to his age, then it is stunting. And underweight, if low weight for his age, if for example, if child is of certain age and the under this age category, what should have been his weight, if he is not reaching to that weight category, then he is suffering from what? He is suffering from underweight. So with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve it. Here the question which we had brought today is about the coffee, and you would be surprised to know that why we had brought this question. You can ask me this question, sir, what was the reason why we are discussing a random question on coffee? There are many crops there, why on coffee only? When if UPSC can ask you a question about squirrel, whether it lives on the trees or underground, they can definitely ask a question on coffee. And how you can relate this coffee, what is, how we can relate it? We can relate it because, as we know, recently, you know ISRO is going for a space docking. On 7th Jan, they are going to do that SpaceX mission, where they will conduct 27 or 25 experiments. And one of the experiment was sprout the cowpea seed, and they had successfully done it. They had successfully sprouted the cowpea seed. So with respect to this, we can expect a question with respect to copy, as it becomes very much important for the UPSC exam. And that is why we are discussing this. Why we are discussing this? Because the ISRO has successfully sprouted the copy seed in the space, under the gravitational force which they created there. And and what also they did, they were able to they were able to operate the robot arm there. So these are few things which we got from there. you know these two things which we grow which the ISRO has done in the space with respect to SpaceX mission. So with respect to this question, let's try to understand it, and let's try to find more about cowpea. First statement: with reference to cowpea, consider the following statement. First statement: cowpea is a leguminous crop primarily cultivated for its edible seeds which are rich in protein. 100% correct, nothing wrong with this statement. Second statement: cowpea is highly drought tolerant and can thrive in arid and semi-arid regions. This statement is 100% correct, nothing wrong with this statement too. Third statement: India is the largest producer of coffee globally. Totally incorrect. It is Nigeria which is largest producer of coffee, not India. India produces it in abundance, but it is Nigeria which is the largest producer. So third statement is incorrect. Coffee is a kharif crop, 100% correct. So with respect to this question, what are the correct statements? Statement 1, statement 2, and statement 4. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. So why we had brought this question? Because ISRO has done an experiment in space with respect to sprouting of the cowpea seed. They had successfully done it, and it becomes important for us. As I told you, when UPSC can ask you about a squirrel, whether where they live, they can definitely ask you about cowpea, as it has the significance now, as ISRO has done the experiment over it. Now with this, we had completed today's questions with respect to the current affairs. We had done the news analysis of today's. Now with this, let's move to the another part of our discussion where we will solve some static topic questions. As we are discussing the fundamental duties, and we had reached to fundamental duty article 51A clause F. We know about fundamental duties that they were not the part of the initial constitution. They were introduced by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. They were recommended by the Savarn Singh Committee, which was reviewing the constitution, and we got inspired from the USSR, from where we got the fundamental duties from USSR. We got inspired from them. So with respect to this, we had discussed fundamental duty 51A, clause A, clause B, clause C, clause D, and clause E. Now today it is the turn of clause F. Let us see what does it say. Here the question says Article 51A of the Indian Constitution deals with the fundamental duties. Which of the following best describes the duty enshrined in Article 51A, clause F? The first statement: to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. 100% correct. This is what the Article 51A, clause F says. It shall be the duty of every citizen of India to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. So it is the duty of every citizen of India to preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option A. With this, I hope you understood what this is about, what this clause is about. Now with this, let's move to the last question of today's discussion, which we will take from the previous year question, and let's try to answer that. Here the question says, as this question was asked in the exam 1999. So you can see how back it was asked. It was a time when Pluto was the planet too. So let's see what does this question say. Which of the following types of coal contains the higher percentage of the carbon than the rest? These are the types of the coal given here. It says which of the following types of the coal contains the highest percentage of the carbon. We need to know about that. We need to know about the types of the coal here. We need to know about the percentage they carry, the carbon percentage they carry. But with respect to this question, if we want to know the correct answer, it is anthracite, as it contains 91% of the carbon. So with respect to this question, the correct answer would be option D. So with this, it is very factual question. For such questions, you cannot apply much of your mind. But one thing what you can apply is you can go through the types of the coal. It can prepare you well for your next exam. What are the different types of coal? What is the percentage of the carbon found in them? They can ask you a question: which of the following types of the coal contains the lowest percentage of the carbon? They can ask this question in the next exam. That's what you have to prepare for your next exam. They can ask such question in your exams. So with this we complete today's discussion. I hope you would like the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and best of luck.